Hey everybody, welcome to Breakfast All Day. Matt, Christy, Alonzo. I am juggling far too many plates and I'm already also mixing my metaphors. Anyway, did not get to see the Aeronauts.
You don't have to apologize, Alonzo.
I feel bad. I feel like I'm letting down the side. But Matt and Christy did. They're going to tell you all about it.
Go.
Yeah, so in Victorian England, people would get into hot air balloons with no safety precautions at all, and it was terrifying. This would-be meteorologist who's all but created the idea of meteorology needs a balloon pilot. He wants to go up in a balloon. He's part of the Royal Science Society and played by
Eddie Redmayne.
And he needs a balloon pilot because the other balloonist that's in the society they all think he's crazy.
They poo-poo him.
Like, oh, you can't predict the weather.
You're mad.
You're mad. And he decides he's going to go up in the air and see what he can figure out. And so he finds a balloonist, an aeronaut played by
Felicity Jones.
We've seen them in a movie together.
This is not a prequel to The Theory of Everything.
No, it is not. But
I kind of wish it were.
Felicity Jones we find out is the widow of another aeronaut, but she's willing to get back in the basket, so to speak, and she's very theatrical when they first take off. And the movie covers their entire trip, or most of their trip, but then there's periodic flashbacks to how they got there. And there's a lot of really terrifying things happening in this, and I never want to go ballooning now.
Oh my! Was ballooning a thing that you were pondering prior to seeing this film?
Yeah, actually. If it were to come up and somebody said, "Hey, you want to go on a balloon ride?" Previously I would have been like, "Yeah, let's go." And after watching this, I'm like, "Nope,
hell no, no ballooning for me, thanks."
Exactly.
This movie it's thrilling and terrifying quite frequently, but it also slows down to let them have nice chemistry with each other in the basket. There are things that Felicity Jones is called upon to do that, holy shit, are heart stopping. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're really, really high up because Eddie Redmayne is he becomes obsessed, focused, driven scientist, researcher. He wants to go higher than anybody else ever has before, and damn the consequences. I don't care if I'm gonna pass out for lack of oxygen. I gotta find out how high I can get.
Somebody had set the record at 23,000 feet, and they want to go higher than that.
They go higher than that,
and
they
it's
do.
not like they have oxygen, and
There's
it's not
no oxygen.
and then you find out he's like, I don't need warm clothes. They're gonna be too heavy.
It gets cold. And there's snow. Snow builds up on the top of the balloon. Anyway, it is, if you are afraid of heights, this is not the movie for you.
This movie might make you afraid of heights.
If you weren't already.
Or at least afraid of falling. It's not the heights that I think we're afraid of. I think it's the falling.
So I brought Nick with me to see this because I'm like, oh, he'll enjoy it. It's like an adventure. And he was like, Mommy, this all looks so fake. The shots of them in the balloon, and I like the way directed this. Tom Harper directed this and co-wrote it. I like the way they visually depict the progress that they're making because it'll be a wide shot and the balloon will be in the bottom left corner and you will see how long they've been out. The bottom line of the chart, the graph, whatever, is how long they've been out, and then the vertical one is math is hard, but anyway, what's it called?
Y-axis.
What's it called? Anyway, there's a thingy that measures how high they go and how long they've been out,
right.
And so you can that's a tension building device. You can feel oh god, they're way too high and they've been out for too long, and we can quantify it. Here it is. And Nick thought that those wide shots would look kind of fake, but I thought it was kind of beautiful.
Did I read that they tried to do as many practical effects as possible on this, or
I don't know.
Could you tell?
I don't know.
There was nothing that was overtly oh, that's CGI. That's totally fake. It all looked pretty good. I mean, the way the balloon is painted, it's got this big crown around it, and that looks a little weird, but part of it is just the style of the way Victorian balloons were painted. So,
did you do research on Victorian balloon painting? after seeing
He
this
saw
film.
The Great Race.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
My other question is, now this is a movie that is getting a brief theatrical window and then going straight to Amazon Prime because they acquired it.
Interesting.
Or I don't know if they produced it in the first place. But anyway, it's going to be, it is an Amazon release, and they're going to be putting it on, like what they did with The Report. They're kind of shortening their theatrical time and going straight to streaming. Will it look as good? I mean, did you guys watch it projected or on
Yeah,
a
I
TV?
saw it. I went to a screening room.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw it.
How will it look on a TV, you think?
I don't think it'll be as good.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I think if you could see it, you should see it.
So if you're going to see this movie, you're saying.
Well,
get-
especially
yeah.
because they make
See it in
one of the
theater.
things that you do get kind of the beauty of what it looks like, to be the first, to be one of the few people that have gone, that high up, and when Eddie Redmayne, like for the first time, is able to see London and see England from that perspective. The movie does a good job of capturing it, and I don't know that watching that on a TV is going to have the same effect.
Yeah,
unless you're sitting real
yeah.
close.
There's a lot of widescreen shots where I think may not, translate as well on TV.
Yeah, my issue with the film, and the reason I think it's not perfect, I mean, among other things, is that it doesn't ever feel like, aside from their lives, all that much is at stake. Like his drive to be a meteorologist, like yes, he puts it in the terms of saving lives, but I just didn't feel the urgency. Like I didn't feel the fire in him that, like, damn the torpedoes, I need to do this science no matter what the cost. Redmayne didn't quite sell that for me.
I mean, what is there for her at stake? I mean, redemption, I suppose, because her husband had been an aeronaut and died, so maybe she now wants to do it right. Maybe that's what's there for her.
Well, I bought the adventurous spirit in her. Partly because when you first see her, or early on, yes, she's clearly nervous about going, but then she's really putting on a show. And I really bought that she was an adventurer type. And for her, it was just that, like, oh, let's see how high we can go. Okay. And I think she sold that better.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun role for her. I mean, aside from playing Jyn Erso, right? She doesn't get the opportunity to play a whole lot of like big, showy, fun roles like that. Like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, as badass as she is, is a more compact, kind of contained performance. Same as in what the hell was it? Like Crazy. Same as in Theory of Everything. Even like Theory of Everything, she's literally carrying the film sometimes, and but still it's like a virtuous kind of understated performance. And here she gets to be really showy and theatrical and have a lot of fun with it.
All right, because I'd say I haven't seen this one, but every time I see a movie with Felicity Jones, I think this is a role that Gemma Arterton could have played much better.
I could see Gemma Arterton doing this too, but I would not sell Felicity Jones short on this one.
All right.
No, I think she's really.
Look, Carey Mulligan finally won me over in Wildlife. So every so often you'll see somebody in a role like, okay, you do have a thing that I just didn't get before.
No, she, the first scene that early scene when they're taking off, like she's really putting on a performance for the crowd and playing to the crowd. And I liked that. I think it's again, different than what we get to see her do. And she's really good at it. And I would love to see her doing more kind of light, zany material.
Yeah, and she and Eddie Redmayne, of course, have a nice, lovely chemistry. They've worked together before, so that feels very natural. Anyway, I'm saying 7.3. It's pretty good. It's thrilling at times.
Yeah, I'm saying, what did I say?
It says 7.5.
7.5.
7.4 is our number. It's a 77% on the tomato meter. Hooray, Aeronauts.
And you're saying don't wait for Amazon, see it projected if you're going to see it at all.
If you're going to see it, unless you have a giant TV, unless you like just went to Costco and got yourself a giant new television for Christmas.
Fair enough.
Right.
There's also that available to you.
All right. Okay. Good to know. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. Like this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Won't you follow us on the various social media at BeFastAllDay? And, of course, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. We are gunning through television for you guys right now. It's all about Mandalorian and Watchmen and Morning Show and His Dark Materials. So much to talk about. We're really enjoying that stuff over there, so we hope you'll subscribe so you can check out that stuff. If you have subscribed already, thank you so much for doing that. We appreciate your support, and we'll be back next time. Tell us about A La Carte, Christy.
A La Carte on Monday is Jackie Mazzarella. She's a longtime actress. You may know her best as Ms. Morello on Everybody Hates Chris. She is an old friend of mine. She also has a YouTube series called The Oversharer, in which she overshares. Oh my goodness, it is cringe-inducing and hard to watch, but funny. So Jackie Mazzarella is on Monday.
Cool. Well, have a lovely weekend, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.